Let's start with talking about your strategy for acquisitions, both in Wynwood and on Flagler Street. You own more than 40 acres in Wynwood, and you've made more than 45 purchases on Flagler. What's the secret to making that kind of assemblage?
Well, secret. It's the secret that everybody sees, and it's a secret. Anyway, first of all, I really wanted to thank everybody for coming here. And it's really very exciting time for Wynwood, for Miami. I'm very, very excited to share my experience, my knowledge, to make some common sense, whatever we're doing with people. And I want to thank the Real Deal for hosting this beautiful event. It looks beautiful, very exciting for me coming outside. Ima, I want to thank you too.
Thank you.
And I want to thank everybody that came here, and I'm very, very glad to come and give you some overview and share my knowledge, what I know, directions, and go ahead. So the question is, what's the secret?
We're so fortunate to have you here today, too.
Thank you.
I was asking about your acquisitions. What has
Right.
been your strategy, both in Wynwood
Right.
and on Flagler Street?
Right. Okay. So in order to answer something like this, you really you have to understand the philosophy behind our project and philosophy behind what we do and how I evolved to come to a point where we're buying 40 acres in Wynwood, we're buying over 50 buildings in Flagler, having 2.5 million square feet, 2.5 million square feet of warehouses in Jersey City. So there's a philosophy behind what we're doing, and we don't do it just in order to acquire it and keep it, because what we do, we develop ecosystem, we develop communities within these areas. So, and we evolved into it. It's it's like peeling an onion, and little by little, and you peel another layer, another layer, until you really totally understand what you do. Because I was doing it all along. I started with moving people, and I ended up coming, going into meat packing and becoming a big main catalyst for the change in the meat packing. We built the milk studios over there. It was all a very dilapidated area, meat packing, meat trucks, all kind of people, drug infested. And I was in the warehousing business when I got the building on 14th Street over there. And then we started the company, and I started without even knowing it. Like, we just started the company to do photography events and for the fashion industry. And as time went by, we evolved to build a community for the fashion industry in the meat packing. So this was really a big catalyst when we brought, Calvin Klein to do his fashion shows, where we brought Jeffries, where we brought Philips Auctioneer. We brought like the real, the people who really from culture, from lifestyle into this neighborhood. This was a big catalyst of changing it. I didn't capitalize much on what we did over there because of the change, because I was still young and not understanding business, so-called. And I evaporated over the years. And forgive me for telling you this thing, because you got to understand what we do in order to really understand the secret. So I evaporated for a while because I didn't believe what's happening in the real estate. I thought that I'm missing something, I don't know, so I stopped for 8 or 9 years acquiring anything or doing anything. And then I came back 2009. And now I go to Jersey City, and I see a whole area dilapidated. And I said, okay, we did it for the fashion industry. What we did for the fashion industry, we're going to do for the art industry. We're going to build a community over there. And we ended up building a community there where artists working, creating, selling, legacy libraries, museums, schools, ICP International School for Photography, keeping all the collection, the Academy School of Florence, of Art Florence moved there. Remember this area where people told me, and some of my staff told me not in our lifetime. And one of them I had to let go because he didn't believe in what we're doing over there. And it ended up a big catalyst for Jersey City, and everything around us started building, and communities start building in. Now I'm coming back to your question, the secret. So I came to Miami at the same time, and me going back and forth in Miami for many, many years. And I totally understood the need of Miami to change. We come from New York, so much to do, so many industries, so many jobs, and Miami doesn't have it. So me traveling to the Far East during this year, so-called I wasn't working or I wasn't buying real estate, learning about the Far East, built a couple of businesses there, and coming in here, and I totally understood for the need of Miami to build a physical trade hub to facilitate the trade between the Far East, South America, and America. And you see, trading used to be physical. Then it turned to be digital. Everybody went digital. They forgot about the physical, like we are not living in a body or something. I totally understood the physical going to need digital. No matter how you put it, there's nothing like doing business face-to-face. So I said, okay, we're going to do it in Wynwood. Okay? For that purpose, I needed a critical mass, and that's why I bought the properties in the back where nobody wanted. It was destroyed, dilapidated, and we have a project, we have a vision for this. Whether we succeed or not, time will tell. But I'm going full force. That's why we asked for additional build-out to build the critical mass in the back of Wynwood to build the global trade hub to facilitate all this trade in terms of all verticals, including the future headquarters of China and the Far East to be in Miami. We are going to compete. We're going to compete with Atlanta. We're going to compete with Dallas, Houston. We're going to compete with New York. But us, where we are here in Miami, we're in a very unique position. We are across the Panama Canal. We are the capital de facto of South America. First exit from the Pacific. Great ports, great airports, great community, international, 50 million in and out. So there's no reason that our industry will be only tourism and will be transportation. So we're definitely pushing towards creating this global trade hub that all of us will benefit from it. So it's not what the secret again is what you do with the property. How do you develop it and what's your concept? So we have a unique concept what we do, including, let me just finish for Wynwood just to finish it.
Sure.
Because also Miami missing other components. I'm sorry, it's missing a lot of culture, you know, and I'm sorry to say it. In terms of entertainment, in terms of art trading, there's no art trading in Miami. In terms of fashion, in terms of so many issues that Miami need to be, this is an infrastructure that needs to be built in Miami, somewhere, someplace. From the minute I walked into Wynwood, I knew this is where we're going to build, and we were going to be part of building the cultural infrastructure of Miami. And this is what we are doing. But I want to say again something that we totally understand. What's really good about the whole Wynwood project, it's not only us. It's a whole community. It's very pluralistic. You have small business reside with big business, small artists with a big artist. And Wynwood, like, if in order to do something like this, it's a big wagon. We need many horses to do. And in Wynwood, everybody is engaged to do it. So this is the secret why I bought so much acreage in order to do what we need to do.
So what is your plan, say, for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? Where do you see it developing? How do you see it developing?
Okay, first of all, I know it's a good thing. Where the road is going to lead us, I think it's going to lead us only good direction. But again, because of what we do in Wynwood, this is going to attract many companies to other areas of Miami. So we are a catalyst for the change that Miami needs, and that's what I see it, you know. We're just going to be the first so-called milk studio in the meat packing. And I believe in Miami. I believe in everything that we do in Miami. There is no reason Miami not become like the Hong Kong of the future. I mean, it's a great city, international. I love the culture here, the people, you know, it's so mixed.
Do you think we can compete with cities like New York and LA for the Asian companies?
Well, you see, geographically, we're in a much better position than New York today. Weather, taxation, many things, you know, where we're sitting is just, we're 2 hours from Medellin. We're half an hour from Cuba. We're half an hour from the islands. We're an hour, 2 hours from Venezuela. I mean, we are 3 hours, 5 hours from Peru, Chile. I mean, all these states. So the idea is really to position us in the mind of the Chinese, where they are going to go Miami. And we are competing on this market. So that's why next week we are heading to China to try to solicit strategic relationship. It's not about the money. It's about really tying up these forces in China in order to make Miami happen. We're doing it for the last 5 years, 6 years, like on a daily basis, you know, looking for potential partners, educating the Chinese, signing MOUs, getting, you know, sister cities, brother cities, working with the ports, connected to Panama. So next week I'm going to be with the president of Panama, and we want to position it, the one who want to position Miami, we call it the biggest global trading hub in the Western Hemisphere. The connection between Miami and Panama. Ships come, unload in Panama, redistribute. We're going to do the banking, we're going to do the legal, we're going to do the trades because of the credibility that America has until now. Hopefully we're not going to ruin it. The credibility that America has in terms of banking, legal, and others. So that's what we're doing.
So what's the hardest part of that? What's the biggest obstacle to get everyone on board for that?
You know, it's not one obstacle. It's really like putting all the horses in one line, you know, and getting the relationship all, you know, like you're sewing a sweater, you know. I mean, there's not one thing that it's difficult, you know. So that's what we're doing.
And how about downtown? Tell me your plans for downtown.
Okay, downtown. This is funny. Okay. So, you know, the way I see it, you know, downtown, you know, we have a company. We created a company called Mana Common, sharing space and sharing sense. It's all about building a community. And my vision for Flagler Street to become the Silicon Valley of South America. I've been traveling to South America, learning the need of South American people, and I totally understood that they need a second, third, fourth footing, you know, in order to build or achieve what they need in South America. And like I told them, yes, I mean, you cannot, you know, roads, ports, walls, it's very difficult, but building digital infrastructure, it's a brain issue. So the idea is to bring him over here, or to support the digital infrastructure of South America from Miami and not let it go to Silicon Valley where they're getting overlooked. That's the idea. So a community where they're going to be sharing space. The education is a very big component. Bringing the international schools to Wynwood, to downtown Miami. It's just I've been very busy with Wynwood, so I've been overlooking downtown. But the time of downtown will come, and I totally, believe to bring Flagler Street to its glorious days, where Flagler was the heart of Miami, where everything started, all the businesses, everything. I want to bring it back.
It has been an overlooked area.
Overlooked.
So is there new development in the works? What specifically would you be doing?
Okay, I just want to continue and really emphasize again, our project is not building condos and selling them, There's people outside, like great project. I love what they do. I love everything. But I found out our job is a bit different. It's about building the community, building the micro units, keeping the young people in here in Miami, being a catalyst for the future of Miami. I know it's very presumptuous. I know it's very ambitious. You can name it anything that you want. But we're doing it. We're going towards it, okay? We're working on it every day. And there's a big community supporting us. Many other people starting high-tech here, many other people doing all kind of venues. I don't want anybody to think that we are the one that's really doing it alone. Everybody's doing it. Everywhere I go, there's another developer here. This is the infrastructure of Miami sitting right here, So everybody's doing it, but we chose to be a big horse.
You've been very outspoken about President Trump.
Yes.
And you paint a very dark picture of what the Trump era means for democracy and our institutions. Is there a connection? Is it affecting real estate? Is it affecting business? Is it affecting Miami?
Okay, this is the last question that the way you put it, I wanted to hear it, but I'm glad you asked it this way. And I really want to everybody understand the real issue. The real issue, the merit of the issue. If everybody look at Trump only from his perspective, if the real estate people will look at it from the real estate point, if the Cuban look at it from the Cuban, yes, Andrew, I'm talking to you. If the Cuban look at it only from the Cuban, and the Israeli looking from the Israelis, this is, and sorry for really, I want to stand up and talk to everybody. So, this is a point that I've been fighting, and it's very important, and this is what I really came for, at the end of the day, to share the vision, what we're doing, and tell you really how we really to look at things, and because I'm Jewish, I'm a Jew, and we were victim for thousands of years for racism, discrimination, segregation, you name it. My grandfather, he had a warehousing business in Iraq, and he was walked out of his business with a gun to his head because he's Jewish. He had to come to Israel, and sorry I'm giving you my back.
Okay.
He had to come to Israel and sweep the street of Israel because he's Jewish. So I study extensively history. And what changed the last 1,000 years? Nothing changed. We're going to have it again. It's going to happen again. You see, each one of you here is the collective of his memories and his experience. And now, if we as a society work without the collective experience, which is the history, without the collective memory, we're going to keep repeating the same mistakes. I see in Donald Trump, as I called it, when he was chosen to be the Republican nominee, and it's not a question of views at all. He was chosen to be the Republican nominee. I declared it as a moral bankruptcy of America. And I said, I fear the 8th of November, the 7th of November, 9th of November. I fear that day because this was the Christian night in Germany. And sure enough, we have a guy that's repeating the whole 20s back. It's coming back. And he thought people were winning. We're winning. Okay, winning. At what price? How much I have to compromise to do this win? How much? How much I need to give back in order to win? I need to endure his craziness. I need to endure his all kind of crazy ideas. He's closing our markets in the world. He's doing destructive things to all kind of issues, ecology. But he's gone, the stock market is going up. So I was talking a few days ago to a friend of mine. He's very successful. And I asked him, Dean, are you still supporting? He said, sure. I said, what? He said, don't pay attention to the little details. Don't pay attention. He's easing regulation, he's easing this, he's easing that. We're going to make a lot of money. I told him, Dean, why don't you start doing maintenance on your buildings and you see how much money the first year you're going to have second year. But don't be surprised after a few years the building would collapse on top of you. So regulation was more in order to protect each one of us, not against us. So when we are going to say here, and this is something that really I fear for the future of the Jewish people in America. And why? It's just a matter of time. If there's a recession, there will be somebody who comes and say the Jews are 1% of our economy, for our society, 3 million people, and they control 80% of our economy. This is a cartel. And now what we're going to do? They need to break the cartel. Now I need to fight the Spanish, I need to find the black, and I need to fight the white. How am I going to survive as a man here? How is my family going to survive in the future? We don't understand what we're doing here. We're destroying everything we're doing. America was leading the trades. We don't need $5 factories in America. We need new industries. We need banking. We need to head we used to be the rabbis of trades. We led all the trades in South America. We were leading the trade in South America. Flagler Street was people used to come, buy, and take back. It's not here anymore. So what's going to happen in a few years? The Chinese building, I love the Chinese, and I salute them. I'm going to help them. We are part of one global economy. But we have the choice to choose. Do we want to lead it, or we want to hide in our houses because there's a couple of ISIS coming in here? In the last 15 years, only 125 people died out of terrorism in America by Muslims, and it was in-house, were not immigrants. I'm an immigrant, and without immigrants, how are we going to do America? But we're saving taxes. I find Jewish friends, Jewish people that do business, 75 years old, all their life they read the New York Times. Oh, don't believe it, it's fake media. For fucking 60, sorry my language, you were reading New York Times, now you're telling me it's fake media? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you guys? Anyway, so this is what I'm fighting. I'm doing it because the only way to do the change, and we work as a global community, nationalism doesn't work because the bigger of the issues of the world are global. Global warming is warming, cyber is a common, new engineering, human being is global, everything is connected. So that's why I'm fighting. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Moishe.